Hello, everybody. What's going on?
What's up? What's
Yo,
up?
what up? What up?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we got some of the greatest DJs on the East Coast all here doing our thing. We're going to talk about what's going on in DJ business in 2023. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons, and some things that might be helpful to some of the customers out there that are looking for DJs. We'll talk a little bit about that detail, but we talk about our operation because the biggest thing here is what we're trying to do is educate the customers so they know what right looks like. All right, so gentlemen, we're going to talk about. I know we're going to pick up where we left off before, and we were talking about the different types of venues. And what would be your best suggestion to a customer if when it comes to the DJ about picking venues? Chris, we'll start with you since you're right. We'll go from left to
Okay.
right.
Honestly, I would say talk to the venue, and make sure it's the right fit for you. Because what I'm finding is not a lot of couples know about the sound levels. So you have certain sound ordinance in different counties, and they don't even know what that entails, what that means. There's certain venues that will not allow you to have powered subs, so they don't know. Again, they don't know what the impact of that is. Um, really understand the what is it, the limit as far as how many people you can have in there, because once you try to cram so many people in there, it just doesn't work. um Again, that goes with your placement and setup of your vendors, your DJ, and everything, because of course when we're put in ineffective places, it just kind of hinders how well your wedding or your event, whatever it is that you're having at that venue, is going to be. um and then also look at, just as you vet your other vendors, like your your florists and your DJ, you want to vet your venue, because as I heard last podcast, that there are some venues out here that are not looking out for the best interest of the client. So and that affects everybody, especially when your venue is setting up all the other venues, vendors, for failure. You have to adhere to the venue's rules. So you're just set up for failure if your venue is not putting you up for success.
Yep, that's okay. DJ Ron, what's your take on that?
I mean, I'm not really don't really know how to answer that question, to be honest. Um,
Have
I mean, every venue you go to is different. Uh, to tell people what they want or what's going on with the venue, I've run across so many different areas where you just gotta make it do what it do when you get there, because you don't never know when you get there what you're gonna run into as far as a DJ.
okay.
I
So like
mean, to
like if
tell
you
a customer,
like let me say I'm saying is like if you had a recommendation as far as not really the venue, but like as a DJ, like what like I mean, is there certain things that a venue has to have in order like for things to be right as far as a DJ? When I say that is sometimes you'll have a customer to ask your opinion on or what are your requirements for a
hmm
venue, or what are your dislikes about certain things about certain venues, or they're because most times they're always going to try to ask somebody. Like the biggest question I always get asked is, have you ever been to the venue before? And if
right,
I've been there, I say yes. And then they'll
hmm
ask you, so what works best for you in that venue? And then like most of the time what they're talking about is like location. Um, like and that's most of the time that's the biggest thing for a lot of DJs is where they put us at.
Right.
So
I mean, me personally, I just go with the flow.
okay.
Um, you put me in a corner, you put me here, you put me there, I can make it happen. Now, my only concern would be, you know, as long as I can place my speakers where they need to be, so I can get the sound that I'm looking for, I'm good.
Okay.
But outside of that, I mean, I'm pretty much flexible.
Okay. Danny, DJ from the Deaf. What's your intake on that?
I think being out in South Carolina in this area about a year, the thing I noticed is there's a lot of outdoor venues where it's just a roof. Some of them are really nice. Like there's the cabins at Old Spur. That's a really nice one. It's got a pond. It's beautiful, but the sound travels really odd out there. So I think that's something you got to be mindful of, and since it's so open, the way you position your lights. And then there's one big wedding venue out in Lake City, and it's shaped almost like the letter L, and they want to put the DJ over on one side, and it's like, well, I can only see here, I can't see 80% of you, so I don't know. That's not going to work for me. I need to see people.
Visibility.
And then, are they dancing? Are they not? Are they into this? They're not into this. And then so your speaker placement is weird, and that doesn't sound as good. And it mess with you because people might be like, oh, why is it, sound weird? Oh, let's not call this guy, So when you're living for that next gig, setting yourself up for referrals, you got to be on point. And I see a lot of venues too out here that have pillars throughout them. So like to answer your question, I would say if I would recommend something, the people need to go to the venue and have a clear open space,
Open area. Okay.
I don't want pillars. I want people to be able to move free, and if electric slide comes on, they're going to need room, so I think that's a big thing. If I had a venue, I would damn near just want a giant rectangle, or something with a slight curve to it. But yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Okay. Hutch, what about you?
What was the initial question again?
Well, like if you had to make a recommendation, like if a venue, like let's say for example, like so you have a customer going out and they're shopping for venues. Like for me, I know for me, and most time sometimes it happens where we get like it's very rare, but if we get hired before they find the venue, and the customer come up to you and they ask you what would you recommend works best for a venue, like open space, like just what would be that to give them a vision, because like their vision, technically we're gonna like Ron was saying, we're pretty much gonna fall in line with their vision of what they
Right.
what they're gonna do regardless. But if you had a chance to recommend to the customer,
Considerations.
say again.
Considerations.
Right. If they ask you for your consideration in reference to a venue, what would you
Okay.
recommend?
Okay. One of the first few things would be, what time does the client have to be out of the building, lock, stock, and barrel? Because that's going to determine what time it needs to end.
Right.
What time can you get in to start setting up? Are there going to be chairs? I mean, not chairs, stairs involved. And wall plugs, accessibility to electrical power. In the temperature, how can it be controlled? Will the client have access to temperature control, or does the client have to depend on the venue staff? Now, the reason why the temperature is important is because we're in the winter season and we'll have our equipment in our vehicle or trailer, and the temperature is going to be different. And then once we bring it into the venue, we, knowing what we know, we'll allow time for that transfer of heat and whatever the case may be for the equipment to climatize for that particular room. But on the other hand, as Fun to Death was mentioning, if they have an event that's outside, my consideration is the temperature for my equipment. So if at all possible, I would prefer to have my equipment and myself inside, and I could put the speakers outside, but definitely not in direct sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes they will book a plan for an event to be outside, and then they don't have a backup plan for inclement weather.
Right.
So what's the plan for that? Do you have a makeup day, a rain day? And all those things right there, they might not seem like a lot right now, but when you get there on the day of and you have to encounter these types of things, what's our game plan? Because the client is not going to be thinking the same way that we are.
Right.
They're thinking their focus is on having a good time, and they're not cognizant of our needs and what we need to ensure that they have a successful event. So, and we have to have that understanding initially to ensure that their event goes as smooth as possible, and that we are able to help them fulfill their vision to the best of our ability. Sometimes things just happen that we can't, is out beyond our control. But I would say those are some really important things right there.
Well, I think that's the biggest piece is that like in this like on this platform, what we're doing is and this is what we're always used to falling in on bad situations. Where
Yeah.
we just make it work. We just go in and we just do like sometimes we get a chance to speak and say something, but then sometimes majority of the time we don't. And so like by asking this question, it's kind of giving them a heads up that hey, this is what DJ when we think about venues, these are the things that we have to consider. And like what Chris said earlier, believe it or not, that's starting to become a big issue now to where if there's some major rules out there in reference to we can't bring subs or there's an actual limitation on
Sound ordinances. Yeah.
Right. Then we need to know about that in advance. And most of the time the customer doesn't pay attention to that. And if we as DJs are not doing our homework and we're not doing site visits, and we show up to the day of and we've never been out there before, we get told this stuff. So then guess what? In most cases, we have all this extra equipment packed that we can't even use.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course we've done it numerous times, but at the same time, it's not something that we want to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's going on, Maurice? You finally in there? Can you hear us? Maurice. He's having problems connecting in.
Looks like the mic is slash.
His mic is muted.
Maurice.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Unmute your mic.
Is it me?
His mic is muted.
No, I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, but he's not talking.
Right. Even if he could hear us, he couldn't talk because his mic is muted.
Right. So he's not talking at all. So I think he's frozen again. He's having problems with connection. But like I said, that I'll give him a second to get it fixed. But that's the biggest piece is like for me, the biggest thing is just like I said, location. Downtown. Yeah. Okay. Whew. I always tell my customers in the Fayetteville area to stay away from downtown. If you go downtown, these are the type of things you're going to run into. For DJs, it's difficult because if we have trailers, if we do have to take a trailer, technically there's nowhere to park it at downtown. So we have to find that is like the hardest thing. And sometimes you have to separate your trailer from your vehicle just in order for the park. So then you're paying for 2 parking spaces.
I've had to do that before.
That's one of the biggest problems is the parking. And the thing is, for the customer, it's also bad because you don't want your guests to go to a venue. You got to pay for it, for the parking. So that's one of my biggest pet peeves about venues is the parking location. That's like one of the you want a venue that pretty much you have plenty of parking, and we don't have to. It's not difficult to get in and get out. And then, like I said, I'm not sure who said it about the stairs. If you got to go up and down stairs, number one is your equipment is not designed to go upstairs. Some of us have equipment. Some of us have it set up to where we can go upstairs.
I think all of us do, but it's just the logistics of having to do that. That's 30 good minutes, man, just going up and down steps carrying
right.
A
there's
minimum
some
amount of
venues,
equipment.
but see, there's some venues that even though they have stairs, the stairs are so narrow that it's impossible for you to take your equipment up. And
Studio
I think that's like the one thing. Well, yeah, Studio 15, 215 is kind of like one, but then also like Coach in North Carolina, that venue, the stairs are so steep that I mean, a person can fall by themselves. So you can imagine trying to take up equipment.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I've
that's
been
why I
there
always
before,
that.
yeah.
So if I get a chance to give, like, which is very rare, but if I do get a chance to put in my little input, I always stress downtown area. It doesn't matter if it's Raleigh, Fayetteville, any
Atlanta,
downtown
don't matter.
location. Oh God knows, Atlanta's even worse.
Yeah.
Downtown area is always going to be bad for parking.
Yeah.
So once we get the venue, and then Hutch, you said an important thing, because this is one of the things I stress to my customer. Like, I did a presentation yesterday, is the time it takes to get in and get out the venue. I always ask that question, like, does the venue offer you a 12-hour package? Especially if it's a wedding.
Yeah.
And if it's a 12-hour package, then I have nothing to worry about when it comes to time. But if you got those people on a budget, and they're paying their hourly rate, then what are y'all suggestions in reference to your setup time? How much setup time do you need? So, Chris, how much setup time you need if you're doing a full-blown wedding?
I mean, if it's a full blown wedding, Code Sparks dancing on the clouds, 360 booth or photo booth, and then ceremony, cocktail in a separate location, and reception in a different location, I require 3 hours minimum. Just because, like I said, I don't like to start something sweaty. So in that 3 hours, basically, it in essence is 2 hours and 30 minutes because I start 30 minutes before the clients get there, but I require 3 hours because I go in and I change, and we could do a whole episode on like what you should bring extra, DJs, like shirt. A lot of people laugh, but draws, bring some extra draws. You don't want to have be stanky, during a wedding.
Yeah.
But you know,
Thought you were talking about the after party.
right? But again, 33 hours to do all of that. Everybody's, any clients have 3 hours. That's a lot of time. Well, it all depends, because as
It's not really.
Hutch said, what if I gotta walk 200 yards to go set up sound outside for a ceremony? Then I gotta walk another 200 yards to go do cocktail, and then I gotta walk another 200 yards to go do indoors reception. So there's a lot of place, and then let's throw in the aspect of they don't have a loading ramp or something. So now parking is terrible. Now I'm way out there, so now it takes me longer to load in and out. So 3 hours is not that much time. So for me, bare minimum 3 hours if I'm doing a full blown A to Z.
Okay. So Ron, how much time you need if you're doing a full blown wedding?
I usually try to pass my full blown weddings off to my boy Nate, because that's what he specializes in. So I'm gonna try to give you the best for your dollar.
Okay.
That's what I usually do. But if I do a wedding, I'm not doing the photo booths, this and that. I'm strictly a DJ. That's it.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring some light, a setup, and that's that. I don't talk on the mic, so if you want somebody to run your wedding, you're gonna have to either pay them, find somebody, or I'll pay somebody to come in and do it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna, be that person to ruin somebody's wedding. So I'd rather pretty much pass it off because of what I know I'm not gonna do.
Right.
So just like when you do a regular setup, let's say for like if you're doing a birthday party, how much time would you need to set up for a birthday party?
I make my system easy. I got myself pretty much set up where I could be set up in 30 minutes.
Okay.
But now carrying stuff and all that stuff, I make people help out. If you can't give me at least an hour to get set up, then when I get there, I need you to have people on site waiting on me to help me move my stuff in, to help me get it set up. And when I'm time to leave, the same thing. If you can't do that, then I'm going to have to charge you extra so I can have somebody here to help me.
Your laborers,
I just try to make it
keep
laborers
come in and
Yeah. So if you can't help me, I got to charge you for it. and at this
That
point
makes
right
perfect
now,
sense. That's like
and then on top of that, last 3 years I've had 2 major heart attacks. So
What?
I'm not trying to do no whole bunch of lifting, no none of that.
Right. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, yeah, that's a physical side of that. See, that's that side they don't understand is that we have to go through that physical labor when we're all like if most of us we do all our work on our own, and then every now and then if we need assistance, we get assistance. But that's that physical
Wear and
breakdown
tear.
of our bodies that we have to deal
Yeah.
with
That's
when
that
we
wear and tear on us. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
so yeah, they gotta people. I'm not telling people what they should do and how they should do it, but people got to understand if it's just like with us, if it's just one DJ and you want me to come and bring all this stuff, and then half the time they don't even want to pay the proper price for what you bringing. So
Mm-hmm.
anything extra for me, you got to pay
Right.
for it.
Mm-hmm.
So my basic system is 2 tops and a sub. Anything over that, you start paying for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Got you. Okay. So Maurice, are you good?
Yeah, man, I had to go outside, man, and get my iPad.
Oh, okay.
DJ
Well,
Ron,
we
what's
saw
up?
you struggle. You kept popping in.
Good, man.
Yeah, I was struggling, man. I was struggling. I ain't got that set up like Hutch got over there.
Listen to you, man. Listen to you. Chris got the
Yeah,
setup.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Chris got the setup. Then,
Yeah,
matter of fact, he said
so Maurice,
he's gonna leave some of them with me, man. When he go down range, man. I got you, man.
Hey, what you want?
I got you, man. We'll talk.
oh,
I'm serious. Shoot. I'll take care of it like I'm paying for it.
so Maurice,
But I want
This
to
is-
touch on
this-
something, Ron.
wait, I'm just going to introduce Maurice. Maurice, this is
Yeah, I'm sorry.
this is Danny, aka DJ Fun to Death, and he joined in on us. He's a new DJ to the area. He's in South Carolina, but he's still within our area. So I reached out to him so he could be a part of this as well. So Danny, this is Maurice Starr. He's one of the legends here in Fayetteville. He's done it all.
Man. That's
Yeah,
Hutch.
yeah.
But he's
when I grow up, I'm trying to be like him.
There you go.
I'm glad
Go.
to meet you, Maurice.
Good to meet you too, my
Chris,
brother.
No, but go ahead,
five-star
what was you gonna say?
Maurice.
Huh?
Huh?
Is it-
I
is
was
it
going to
five-star?
parlay on something that Ron said in terms of help. I learned a long time ago to be careful who you have handle your equipment.
Mm.
And I had a situation where I allowed someone to help me, and they bumped one of my speakers. They probably dropped it. I don't know what they did, but they didn't tell me about it. So the event starts, and I don't have no sound coming out their speaker. So I don't have no problem with nobody helping, but I'm just not going to let them handle my electronics.
Right.
Oh, definitely. That's definitely understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Because your electronics, I mean, your laptop and my controller, I don't never let nobody touch that.
Right.
If it's in your way, don't even try to move it.
Right.
Just bring it to my attention, I'll move
Right.
it. I had a girl,
Even when people try to help you,
huh?
I said
I
even
had
when
a
people try to help you, you just tell them not to touch it. But go ahead.
Yeah. I had a situation where I was trying something. I was using my iMac, and I had it on the table, and a balloon had went up to the ceiling, and this after the thing was over with, and one of the kids that was there didn't realize how heavy that thing was and dropped it on the floor from the table and cracked my damn screen. It's still cracked. It works fine, but it just, and the screen is nothing but plastic. And I didn't know it was cracked until I got home and opened it up a couple of days later. And I said, oh man, no big deal. I mean, that's just something that we have to be cognizant of. I'm real leery, skeptical about letting anybody help me move anything. stuff disappear quick, especially at the end.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So Maurice, the original question we was asking was like, if you had to do a full wedding setup, from the ceremony, the whole 9 yards, how long would it take for you to set it up? How much time do you need for that setup?
Actually, I would probably want between 2.5 to 3 hours. Being honest,
Okay.
with sound check, making sure the speakers in the right place, and things of that nature. I would want at least 2.5 to 3 hours for one man. You know,
Mhm.
I'm a
Right.
one man operation. So
Same here.
at least that, right?
Yeah.
So Danny, what's your time? Was like, if you have to do a full wedding day setup, how much time do you need?
Well, I have 4 different packages I do. I don't do photo booth or anything like that. So audio always stays the same, but 4 different lighting packages. But most people out here, usually choose the cheapest or the second most expensive. So the most expensive one, I've got moving lights and a lighting controller. No one's ever booked that. So I can get through pretty quick. Maybe like 90 minutes to 2 hours, then I can move
Okay.
at a nice pace. But I did a wedding in November and I got hit on the way to the gig and my bumper blew off and it was kind of dragging on one side. So I ripped the damn thing off and threw it in the back. And, the guy's calling me. He's like, where are you? Where are you? And I mean, it was down to the minutes, but
Wow.
they were cool. Everyone was nice about it. But, people are trying to come up and chit chat and you're trying to be friendly, but inside you're dying.
If you on a time crunch, and they want to come and say, "Yeah, I
Like,
was a
oh,
DJ
yeah.
back in the day,"
But yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, go into things nice and easy because then you're not going to be sweating and, you don't want to start your whole day and night hyped up and sweaty and,
Right. Yep.
Okay. So
I sweat anyway.
yeah, me too. I'm the same way.
Y'all gonna see me
So,
sweat
Hutch,
doing this
what-
right here.
I was just ready to say, you sweating now.
Yeah.
So Hutch, I think you said the same thing about 3 hours. Like, how much time do you need if you have to do a full setup for a wedding?
Minimum 3 hours. I prefer 4.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
Because see, I try to factor in.
What a lot of people don't understand is, I mean, maybe I'm thinking on the lines of Hutch, because you have to take take your time and get there. So if something happened, you allow yourself enough time to, because I was listening to Hutch last, not this session, but the session before last, when he said he had the blowout.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he was able to and get back on the road. So you have to allow yourself that time to get to the event. So 3-4 hours. I mean, I'm with Hutch. You know what I'm saying? You have to allow yourself that time. If I got a gig that started at 5 o'clock, normally I'm there between 12 and 1 o'clock to set up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, about the blowout, right? And the thing about that, I recommend. This is what works perfect for me, is to get you a farm jack trailer. That's going to get down to as low as it can get on the ground. You'll have enough clearance underneath. I don't care what part of your trailer, you'll have enough clearance to get that jack up underneath there,
Right.
and raise your trailer. And you can get one for like less than $100, man, from Tractor Supply. That and get you a spare tire, at least a 6 or 8 ply tire, and have it right in your door. Get you an impact wrench with the lug wrench adapter for your lugs, and you can change a tire back on the road 15-20 minutes tops.
Yep.
Yeah. That's from experience. Most likely it's going to blow the fender off, so
Oh yeah.
get you another fender for about $40-$50.
40-50. Well, you showed me where to get that. My fender cost me $150.
You got tandem axle?
No, but they were the diamond plated.
Okay, we'll get offline, and I'll get you straight with how to get that.
Okay. Yeah. let me know. I had to buy 2 of them. I had 2 blowouts.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and usually our blowouts are on the passenger side. That's
I
usually
had
where I
one
have
on
my
the left,
blowout.
one on the right.
Yeah.
See, y'all got to remember, I've been doing this. Oh my God, 40 years. I'm not carrying all that stuff no more. I can't do it.
Right.
You know, I'm back in the days where we had the 118 box that was the size of a coffin.
Right.
You know, and then you got 6 amps that weigh 300 pounds. And yeah, I can't do all that no more, man.
Hey Mario, hey, you hear what he said? He said he got an 18-inch box that's the size of the coffin. What I got in my storage?
Yeah.
You
I
got the
got
double
about 2 or 3
18.
of them. I got about 3 of them.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's like I'll tell you that's that. I'm telling you that's an ammo depot of all the DJ equipment. That if you
That's
if you're
for my
looking for something to blow
big,
up something,
outdoor and big proms though,
Yeah.
You do know they
you
make
got all
powered
that
ones
stuff
now,
in there.
right?
Well, yeah, no, they powered.
Right, yeah.
But they
They're
huge.
see,
powered.
when I was the headliner for the Richmond Marathon, man, I was playing for 60, 70,000 people, man. So I pulled my trailer and I parked right where I needed to be. I had 6 subs and 10 tops, and I got all that in my trailer. And you can hear my sound a good 5 miles away,
Right.
you know. But I never had a problem with parking because they always allowed me to park where I needed to park. I mean, I'm the headliner. I mean, I'm not gonna park on the street. I got
Right.
too much equipment.
Right.
But that's important, to be able to load in and load out, especially when you carrying the trailer, because you got to have that distance compensate for when you lay that ramp down, so that nobody park their car right up so close to the trailer that you can't let it down.
Exactly.
Then you got to go in there and find them,
Right.
and they might be somewhere dressing or whatever. So that's 20, 30 minutes wasted trying to find somebody to move their vehicle when you're trying to get in there and get your stuff in there, because you ain't gonna leave your ramp down every time you take a load in if you by yourself.
Right.
And some people just vindictive. They'll just park behind the trailer just to piss you off. Well, and they'll pull up right beside you. And it's unfortunate, but those are the things that we have to deal with that the client has no idea about. And it's something that means a lot to us, but to get the client involved in it is kind of petty.
Right.
Because that's not their focus. Their focus is on having a good time for their event. So they don't need none of them distractors like that. And like Mario said, that's one of the things that we need to get clarified out the gate, so that both myself and the client, we are in agreement with what it is that's expected of both parties. So when that happens, because sometimes the client will get there before you do. And if you have that awareness with the client's going to make sure that, hey, this is reserved for the DJ to load in and load out. And then you got a good rapport.
Right.
But we're flexible.
Right.
We're multitaskers.
Right.
But with that being said, we also need to be paid for it.
Well, you factor that in with the fee that you're going to charge. I don't charge anybody for setting up and tearing down. I just tack that on to total cost of what my services are going to be. So that way they won't be trying to nickel and dime you. Well, how much it costs for me to just do 1 hour? Because 2 hours or 3 hours or however long it takes to set up, and they only have the venue for 5 hours, then they're going to start cutting off stuff to get your business. So now, you're trying to negotiate, and the negotiation time is over with. This is my fee. This is what you're going to get, and this is how we're going to accomplish this and have a successful event. But I see your point, though. Absolutely.
And that's also why I tell people from jump, it costs $150 for me to put my stuff in the truck.
Okay.
I mean, now you ain't even did the party yet.
Yeah.
So if you come at me, oh man, can you do a gig for $200, bruh? I mean, do that even remotely sound right to you?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what up, OT?
OT, what's up?
that's it. OT, what's going on?
Is that a
OT,
pizza?
DJ OZ.
OT.
yep.
Is that a PT? I mean, a pizza? I'm looking at
Yo,
the
what's up,
avatar,
bro?
man. Yeah, it is a pizza. Vegetable pizza. Slice, pass. What's up, brother?
Well, that's one thing. And see, now that I think we kind of we've been talking about the between the venue and then we're talking about pricing. Let's talk a little bit more about price. I know we talked about it a little bit last show, but let's talk about pricing a little bit more because I don't think people understand the way the price works when it comes to DJs. I honestly got I actually put out a formula last time. I showed them the kind of like the breakdown. He says, "Yeah, I got pizza on my turntables now." Okay.
Nice.
But that's one of the things that I don't think people understand that pricing because like I know Danny when he was talking about his the episode he had $525 that's dirt cheap and they still and he still had a problem with the customer because the customer said they couldn't afford it. So I think we really need to hit on the pricing again because I don't think the customer understands what goes on with price. I mean, I thought that formula was it kind of simplified the process, but for some reason it's still not. People are not understanding that pricing for DJs. So what we'll do is, I mean, I'm gonna let y'all, I'm gonna let each one of y'all talk about pricing because I know for me, I have my own little special formula. And what I do is I input what the customer wants, and then it's broken down, and then in that formula it comes out to what the price are charged. Now, if they choose a packet, that's different. But if they're trying to keep themselves on a budget, then that's when I have a formula that goes in and it kind of helps them. It shows what we need to cut out in order to get to their budget. But right off the bat, $200. Like you said. You okay? I can come and say hi and then walk away. That's about as far as it's gonna go. So let's talk. Let's get into this pricing thing. So Chris, I know. Look, I know Chris. He charges $2 million for him to even blink. So Chris, go ahead. Give us a little bit about your pricing.
I mean, listen. So, my pricing is basically broke down the same way that you broke your formula down, right? And I actually like what you did. You put it on paper. Because I tried to explain mine out, and a lot of clients don't see it. So when you give them something physical they can see, I think it goes over better. So for me, I take it like this: my pricing is my pricing, and you know, I, I'm actually drafting up something like you have, like your formula, right? So if they have a budget, then we can kind of go in and see what we can cut out. But again, like you said, packages are packages. So I mean, if you're saying that you want my middle package and then you want to it's out of your budget, it's kind of pointless to go to that package. Then let's just go a la carte and then let's build you a package and like, hey, all right, well, for your budget, this is what your budget will accommodate. And then we can, it could break it down of why your budget will accommodate that. And beyond that, I think that's as far as I go on pricing because I get it. Everybody has a different budget, but like everybody says on the show, like, I'm taking time out of my life, putting a lot of stress on my body, and then obstacles that I got, and then of course my experience, and then the cost of my equipment. I have to have some kind of return on that. I enjoy what I do. I love what I do, but again, what I do is not free. So I have to pay vendors to get the speakers. I have to pay for tires. I have to pay for gas and all this stuff. So, I'm not out here making $1 million. I know a lot of people see that price and they're probably like, oh man, you got to be rich. No, far from it. Far from it. That price is a portion of what the running cost of the business is. So, I mean, that's as far as I go with pricing. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. Like as far as like, is there a bare minimum that you just won't like? You just gonna say no? What's your bare minimum?
I mean, I won't say bare minimum. So if it's like something for kids, I'm very flexible with kids. Or charity events. I'm very flexible with that, but I know when I'm being taken advantage of. So I use common sense. I can kind of tell when somebody's trying to take advantage of me. Now, again, it just depends on what they're asking. So if they want me out for like 2 hours and it's a charity event, I'm pretty flexible, and that
Right.
you know you say $100 and I'm not bringing. They're not asking for like photo booth, uplighting and all this, whatever. Sure, why not? Even 2 hours, 3 hours. It's a charity event. Sure, I don't mind doing that. Now, but if you say, "Oh, it's a family reunion," but I want photo booth, this, that, okay, now this is an actual event, like
Right.
So I, I think it's just all situational for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brian, what's your breakdown for price? Like, how do you deal with pricing?
I mean, I really don't have a package deal or anything like that. Because I'm more so stayed in the clubs.
Okay.
But like my clubs, be going to the clubs, DJing or whatever. It all depends on, okay, are you gonna have me there often, or are you gonna have me there just this one night?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
if you are, it's gonna cost 300 for me to plug in. If I'm using your system, I'll do it for 300. But you want me to bring my system? Okay, now it depends on how big your club is, how much of my system I gotta bring. If I gotta bring lights, all that starts to add up. Plus, when I first moved here, they told me I couldn't do gigs because I wasn't on the radio or stuff like that. So once I got on the radio, that was what I say because I have that under my belt now.
Right.
And not only was I on radio, I was on TV. So I even have that on my belt. So at this point, now I'm not saying that I charge people ridiculous prices or whatever, but when it comes to, you know, sometimes, times is hard. You might take a gig for 200, but for 200, I'm not bringing a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
I do, for friends or something, I might do it for 200, but I'm not bringing subs and this and that. And yeah, I'm not bringing my mixing board, and I might bring a speaker and plug straight into it, but as far as like at weddings, like I said, I charge pretty much like 600 to do a wedding. That's gonna bring a basic package of two tops, a sub, and lights, a gig bar. With the process of that, how hard is that to hook up? When you want a light show and all that stuff, now you got to pay for it
Right.
Right.
because not only do you got to have not only to run the light show, I don't run lights on a regular like that. So you want a light show? Now I got to bring somebody in to run the lights because I'm not going to run them. I focus on my dance crowd. I don't know if anybody really been around to see me rock or whatever, but whatever gig you ever came in on, my dance floor stays packed 24/7. That's my job. So
Right.
anything else is, to me, like it's obsolete. Clubs don't want to pay. People don't want to pay, and what you got to do is you just got to figure out what you going to deal with and what you're not going to deal with.
Right.
So I'm at the point now. If I got to
Right.
bring us extra sub, I'm charging for that extra sub because I got to carry that. I got to load it into my truck. I got to do this. I got to do that. So every piece starts to charge. You want a light show? Like I do a lot of high school
Karaoke.
a lot of high school proms and stuff
Right.
down in the
Okay.
country, and I easily get 14, 15 for those.
Mhm.
And reason being, they want all these light shows, they want fog, they want all this
Right.
stuff.
Right. Right.
I don't have a problem getting it, But then I gotta tell them I gotta pay somebody to run all this stuff. I gotta pay somebody to carry all this stuff. And they pay it with no problem.
Right.
But me doing it by myself is not gonna happen. You know, at some point you gotta realize I'll be 54 this year. My body falling apart. I can't do all that stuff no more. And
Oh,
people
man,
gotta
you can handle
understand
it, bro. You can handle it.
You know what? I can, but the thing is, why should I not get paid for it?
Right.
Think about this. Everybody else prices has gone up and everything, and you can't even buy eggs right now. So why is the DJ prices still staying the same?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I moved down here in 2021. When I left New York, I was getting $800 a gig. I came down here, they didn't even want to pay $100 a gig. That was 20 years ago.
2011 or 2021.
2021. And doing a wedding reception for $800 up there was cheap.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anywhere. East.
Doing parties up there, you going in and plugging up, you getting 500. So me coming down here was an adjustment for me. Then they telling me, "Oh, you're not on the radio," but then the radio DJs here don't get paid nothing.
Right.
And it's not because they don't have the talent. It's because everybody's just trying to undercut or whatever. So you gotta try to fit in where you can get in. You want to stay close to what you want, but you still eventually you not wind up start coming down on your prices now. Because if you don't, you'll never get a gig because these people don't want to pay because they don't respect what the DJs do here anymore. So that they go to the prices.
Listen, I'm comfortable with keeping my stuff in the storage.
And that's a lot of people don't understand.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that part. Like Hutch got crazy stuff. There ain't no way in heck I'm bringing all that stuff out.
Right. Yeah.
I ain't got nothing, man. I got two tops to the bottom, man.
Yeah. And I deal with a lot of DJs. I got a crew that I run with. So, you know, between all of us, I mean, there's nothing that we can't do. You know, I run with DJ Swoop, DJ Nate, DJ Wyatt, all of them are my boys. DJ Richie Rich. I mean, but with that being said, I'm looking at everybody saying, man, everybody gotta try to find where their niche is.
Right.
Like Nate, great at weddings. So if I get a wedding and people want the DJ to do the light shows and all this stuff, I'm not even gonna accept it. I'm gonna say, you know what? This is the person you need to go talk to. Because everything that you want, he can give it to you. But you will pay for it.
Right.
But you will get everything that you want.
Yeah.
I'm not out here to be greedy.
Right.
So, you know, or like school events, kids events. DJ Richie is great at kids events.
Right.
Matter of fact, my stepdaughters hit me up one day and was like, Mr. Ron, they was like, they want we had a DJ come into the school and did an event, and he did his thing. I said, was he black or Spanish? They said Spanish. I said it was Richie. It was like, nah. I said, I promise you it was him. So when they had the next event and he was there, I went. When I walked in, he gave me a pound and everything. They were like, oh, I can't believe he know you. I'm like, y'all got to understand. These things is everybody's hand in hand here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Hutch. I see Hutch doing something. He needs something. He got it. But DJs don't work together like that no more. Most guys, you know, if we stick together as far as our prices, they got to pay the prices.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But guys are not going to do that. You know, I've been undercut at clubs as a DJ from the same cats that I work with at the radio station.
Yep.
And that's where the industry takes. That's why our industry is so we're never going to go anywhere, is because we got all the other people trying. They're still playing for pennies and nickels versus trying to pay for dollars.
Right.
And then on top of that, you figure you look at, okay, you got guys who now, like we was talking last week about what makes you a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
You got people with going on YouTube, getting a bunch of music and getting a spine and speaker and going with a laptop and playing music and saying they're DJing and they charging $100. I actually seen a guy doing a school event like that.
Right.
And I mean, I can't be mad at him because that's your hustle. But
Right.
you're doing this the game a disjustice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
so the pricing at this point is completely out of control.
It's been like that for a while too.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, it's been like
For a
that
long time.
a good 20+ years in this market.
Easy.
You know, yeah.
And that's why I started to simplify the process. And I mean, after we all go through, I'm gonna pull up that formula piece, and I think that's my way to justify my prices to my customer.
Right.
I really never have to break. Sometimes I have to break it down to my customer, but majority of the time I don't. Most of the time they're happy with the price.
Right. Yeah.
They're happy with it because they see what they're getting, and I move on. It's not a big thing, but sometimes you have to, and it's like what we just talked about earlier. It's about the marketing pitch that people, the sale pitch that people are using now. Is
Right.
you have to, in that sale pitch, you got to justify your prices, and I mean it does require a little extra work, but it's worth it because then you're getting paid what you're worth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ron, you had anything else to say before we pass it on to somebody to somebody else?
I mean, outside of that, I mean, we all in this game together. I tell people all the time, just work together, and you can do things like I know Maurice Star through my boy Slick Mix. I know I never actually met you, Mario, personally, face to face, but I know you through Nate and them.
Right.
I
heard
know.
your name.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I know you from Nate, and I know you from Hutch.
Yeah, and that's what I say. I know Hutch from the radio station. I run across stuff. I'll pass it around. Because I still get a lot of calls. And like the last 3 years, I had to give up a lot of gigs because I couldn't physically do them.
Right.
And with that being said, I had to pass a lot of gigs away. But I don't want to pass a gig to somebody and they're gonna go and charge $100 or $200. So I got to stick with what I know.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I know. I mean, people gotta. Pricing is gonna be. You got to stick with a decent price. If you don't, it's gonna destroy the industry.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely.
But I'm done.
So Maurice, what's your spiel about price?
That's a touchy subject with me.
I know it is. I know it is.
I feel like Ron and and Hutch. My thing is, if you work if you have a W-2 job, then it makes it easier for you not to sit back and argue with them, because I'm like Chris, it'll just sit there in the garage. So we cannot let the client play us. Give you a point in case. I knew what the lady budget was, and so I had some lights set up. I had lights set up. I had the uplight set up in the garage. That wasn't in her budget. Tell you how some clients will do. So she said, "Well, what's those lights along the wall?" I said, "There's uplights." She said, "Turn them on so I can see them." I said, "That's not in your budget. That's not that right. That's not in your budget. We already done. I done showed you the equipment I'll be using. That's not in your budget." So the fiance said, "Man, I am really tired, man. Could you please just turn on those lights?" So I turned on the lights. She had to have them. Now, what wasn't in your budget just became a part of your budget. So I said, "Okay, well, how many do you think you need?" So we added that. That was $250 extra. Well, what's that light you got over in the corner right there? No, at this time I'm really trying to get up. No, that's a gobo light. What is that? Can you turn it on, please, so I can see it? Okay. Turn it on. She had to have that. So my thing is, what wasn't in your budget now just became a part of your budget.
Right.
So, I'm looking at it like, okay, now I know where you're getting the cake from because you done told me who's your cake vendor. I know that cake is $700, $800. So I know where you're having the event. If you're having it at the Embassy Suites, I know what you're gonna pay. So why not? Why try to shortchange the DJs? Because we're really doing the most work.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. So when I get a client that, what I'm saying, well, can you lower your prices? No, no. It just, my equipment, it'll sit in the garage because at that point, I'm like, okay, I know my worth, what I'm saying? And I'm not going to send you to no one else. You know what I'm saying? Any one of my partners, Hutch, Mario, or Ron, or Chris, or even now, and then all of a sudden, they looking at me like, you sent this person to me?
Yeah.
Now, if I
Right.
got a gig that I can't do,
Mm-hmm.
I'll call somebody else and say, I don't know their prices. What I quoted you, it may be more,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a thing. Where that's one of the topics with me that really, because even when you work at a radio station, when I was at the radio station, most people they really won't call you because they in their mindset the DJ is gonna be high because he work at the radio station.
Yep.
So they won't even bother you. But you just have to, like you said, know your worth and don't let nobody, the client is. I understand you got bills to pay the next day, but I got bills to pay too. So I mean that's my take. I mean, what I'm saying, it's how it works. And what is not in their budget, a client would tell you that, but it's really in their budget. If they want it, they'll make it a part. It'll become a part of their budget.
Right.
Because they're
That's my
used to
take.
doing stuff like that.
Right.
They are used to doing stuff that way, but they won't try to negotiate the price on the venue. They're not going to try to negotiate the price on the photographer or any of the other vendors. But they always come to the DJ and try to nickel and dime us because once a budget, a dollar amount come out your mouth, then they want a $5,000 wedding, or they want the highest package that they can get when they start nickel and dime because it's almost like a child. They have a temper tantrum until they get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I will, and that's why I like to use the technique that I use, where I will have them think that they're getting much more than what they're paying for, but they are paying exactly what I want to get paid.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll throw this
What's going on,
in,
Brad?
I'll throw that in because all of it's going to be in my car anyway.
Right.
Right. So when I bring it in there, they see in all this right here, but then when I do my proposal, I will parenthesize what the actual cost would be for any particular item that I might upsell that I'm telling them is inclusive in your package. So that way they were like, oh damn, he even gave me $800 in bonuses and only charging me this right here. They just paid for what I wanted to charge out the gate. So it's not like you're being dishonest with them. It's just a business technique that works very well for me. And I don't have no problem getting any gigs. I had a lady, and I'm gonna pass this on. I had a lady a couple weeks ago who hired me just for the uplights. How much? $400 just for the uplights. I said, now your DJ should have them. No, he don't even talk on the microphone. I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Whatever deposit you gave him, I will waive that fee off of this price right here that is a steal for you because I'm going to give you a $2,200 package for this price right here. And you don't worry about having to pay me a deposit again. You know, that lady was like, I'm going to pay you the whole amount right now. So how much is my fee? And I told her, she said, where do I need to go so I can pay you? I want to pay you right now. I hadn't even finished doing my presentation. And she was ready to hire me. And I'm like, okay, well, and we took care of business. And within an hour, I was paid in full. And it started out, I was just going to do the uplights. But now I'm going to DJ and the uplights, dancing on the cloud. I was almost that close to saying I got the cold sparkler because I am going to get it.
Right.
I'm going to reincorporate that into my my packaging because that's setting us apart from those other DJs, like some of these other ones that are lowballing us.
Right.
Because they're not going to take the time or invest in themselves. They'll continue to do what they do. They can have those $200-$300 gigs.
Right.
I'm looking at the $2,000-$3,000 gigs right now.
Right. Exactly.
And we're in that transition phase because this situation that we've been going through for the last 3 years is about to wrap up. And you guys, the clients, we're seeing the results of that because we're getting more inquiries about potential dates and clients and events. They're not worried about that stuff no more. They're ready to party and party like it's 1999, like Prince would say.
Exactly.
I rest my case.
I mean,
So my thing is this right here. Another thing I think is DJs. The one thing we have to, as DJs, stop doing is saying that we don't have it. Okay, I've noticed that. Okay, if I don't have something, I know Hutch got it. So let me see if he's available. See if he want to contract his services out for that.
Exactly.
That's what we have to do. We have to stop saying we don't have it. You know what I'm
but
saying?
Maurice, I was just getting ready to say that.
Right.
I was just
And
getting
that's
ready to
how we
say.
network.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to say how people don't realize. Like I said, the guys I run with, they got all that stuff. I don't have all that stuff. But what I do is, if somebody say they want it, I got it. But okay, let me call them, see what they gonna charge me to either get it or to come and run it, and I add that to the fee.
Right.
And that's why we keep our
like
network strong. Like what Ron is saying, that's the perfect thing. Because like me, when I like, and all y'all know, I have flyers on file for all the DJs. So what I do is I send the flyers out to where let's say if I can't do it, if I'm booked and I can't do it, I say, well, look, here's my network of DJs that I work with. Give them a call, and you keep it in the network. And that's why even though you never tell a customer no or I don't have it, you direct them to the right people. So then it keeps it in a network to where we're able to maintain and control how things are flowing in our industry.
And they'll have just as much respect for you as the DJ that you contracted out to them.
Absolutely.
You looked out for them. They're going to look out for you.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not getting ready to get out here and do no prom, and I'm a one-man show. I'm gonna call somebody. Right. Let me be honest with you. Because see, when you get out there and try to do something that you know what I'm saying that you're not used to doing, you're gonna make a fool out of yourself.
Right, exactly.
Right.
You know. So call somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's like I was saying. I said, you know, I give away, you know, when somebody's telling me about a wedding and they want all this stuff, this and that and this. Okay, I see you want the right thing. I know I don't do all that. So why would I take the gig and then try to bring somebody else in? I just pass it to my boy Nate. I know Nate, this is what he specializes in.
Right.
So I'm gonna pass it to him. But in return, he get a gig where the people don't want to pay what he usually charges, and I'll get my wedding reception for $600, and all I gotta do is go there and play music.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's happy. I'm not gonna run the wedding. I'm not gonna talk on the mic. I'm not gonna do none of that. But I'm gonna make y'all dance, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna get out there and get the people involved and this and that and this. That's not what I do. That's what Nate does. If that's what you want, this is the person you need to hire.
Right. Well, let me ask this. So, Danny, let me ask you, what's your intake on the pricing when it comes to? I know we talked, me and you, when I did your, we did a podcast before and we talked in detail about what's your intake on the pricing piece.
I think like what Chris was saying earlier, you know, for the kids, I'll do whatever. For fundraising, I'll do whatever. Like down in Savannah, Weeping Time, I did that damn near free because I believe in that movement. You know, they were trying to preserve the Weeping Time monument. When it comes to weddings, I have zero sympathy. You know, that's money. Money time.
It's a money maker. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, you know, especially nowadays, all these girls' heads are gassed up from IG and Facebook and, you know, living this life that they don't. They're ready to pay. And like everyone, and I think Hutch just hit on it. Okay, you got money for the cake, you got money for the dress. You don't ask them, you don't ask the dressmaker to lower her price. So how come we are?
Yeah.
You know, like why do you have the audacity to do that? So for me, like last October was the best month I've ever had in my life. Between like I do freelance corporate AV and lighting as well, and corporate events. You know, it's soul crushing, but the money's good. But to now, I think January 2023, I think someone put some hoodoo or an Aru on me. I'm telling you, every gig has canceled. Every damn gig. I was on the phone earlier today. I
Who
got a
did?
weekend. Every gig has canceled. Every wedding, every thing,
Nice.
everyone's been
Really?
lower. So how do I go from my best month of my life last October to this year? You know, and I was like, all I want is time. I want to work on my own
Right.
projects. I'm telling you, it was almost like I could feel energy shift this year. And you name it, just the weirdest stuff. But like I'm going to Cuba to work on this album in March, and I keep getting calls for that, you know, during that time frame. But the rest of the, you know, everyone keeps calling, yeah, we found someone else. They're a lot cheaper. Good. Go take them. Have fun. Because I seen that guy, and all he has is an iPad, and his finger slips like this, and the volume, you know, shoots up. So yeah, enjoy your wedding.
That goes back to what I said earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So as far as pricing, I always talk to him on the phone. It's going to be a 4-hour minimum. Most weddings around here in South Carolina are 5. And when it comes to rules, you know, I've been out here about a year, almost full time. I love that there are no rules in South Carolina. You know, North Carolina is a little too safe and foo-foo for me. I feel like getting that stuff coming, you know, and that's all the folks coming there bringing a lot of that fake woke stuff, you know. And we're out here, it's like you can smoke indoors if you want, you know, in most, not Charleston, but you know, there's illegal casinos, and I just love that there's just no fucks given around here. But, you know, that being said, you know,
Charleston does have a noise ordinance, don't they?
Yeah, Charleston's soft, but you know, the money's there. If you want, that's the best one.
Yeah,
it's number one wedding city in the country.
It has a. I've been looking at how Charleston was number 1 for having your wedding. I think it was last year, and they had all these different places. And I was looking at the places that they were recommending, and I'm like, wow, these are nothing different than what we have here.
Yeah.
I think it's the photo shoot, you know, all the you know, the French Quarter, all the pastel colored house, you know, people want that. They want to have that old timey thing, you know. For me, like Mario and I were talking about it, it blows my mind when I first came out here, how many folks get married at plantations.
Right.
And I didn't like working them in corporate AV, but you know, my buddy's like, dude, you want to make money, you're gonna do lighting on plantations out here. And you know, but
OT just said something, and he said that's why he clipped DJ Clips. Yeah, because DJ Clips, I know that's one of the crazy ratings is that between me, DJ Clips, and 5 Star, we were being rated the top companies because of more so our social media and our marketing.
Right.
And that is the biggest piece, is the marketing piece, because DJ Clips, he got tired. He got tired of the lowball DJs here in North Carolina, and he actually did move down to South Carolina. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he still comes back and forth, but he's making a killing down there in Charleston, South Carolina area.
Yeah, I remember when he first started DJing.
Yeah,
but the cost of living is very high, so like that's why
it's very high.
It's dirt cheap around here, and folks don't drive. They're like, oh, that's 40 miles. I'm like, give it to me, you know, like 40 miles.
Yeah, I take that any day.
I was trying to get a plumber to fix my pipes. He wouldn't drive 18 miles. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? He's like, well, yeah, that's a little out of my range. You know, I don't cross the PD River. I'm like, all right, buddy. But as far as clubs, like in a perfect world, if I could play hip hop and dance all 7 days a week, I would do it. and I would lower my rate. And if it's a person I believe in, like Miss Angela, who's building this beautiful place in the hood in Bennettsville, I cut her a great rate. She's an awesome lady and an inspiration. But you know, if they're rich and it's at the country club, no sympathy. You know, if it's a wedding, no sympathy. So
I know.
it's
Yeah.
going to be about 1160 for 5 hours, and that's, you know, basic packaging, up lights, all of that, and then it goes up. You want moving lights, you want vipers, you want moving heads, gobos. It's all incremental, you know,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's still, I think, pretty fair because you guys know there's prep time. We don't just show up. It's what do you want to hear? There's phone calls, there's hand holding. What are you walking down the aisle to? What are you guys coming out to? All of that, you know.
Yeah.
You guys say you show up 4 hours early. I can't because I'm calculating that in my head, and that's lowering my overall hourly average. So if they
Right.
want to nickel and dime me, I got to nickel and dime my time, you know. So
You know, one thing that I did, I don't mean to cut you off.
yeah,
So my model, what I changed on my model, because I had where you could swap out a gig bar light, you could go with the gobos and all this. I just got rid of the gig bar light because they were like, well, yeah, just put the cheaper light in there and we'll give me a cheaper price. And then they thought that price was going to be significantly different. And
Right.
it wasn't like a real significant change. It was, you know, you could say $100 $150 or whatever. Because I mean, it was just less a light, you know, two lights or something, you know. But so what I did, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of that gobo light. So now your only option is my gobo package on two totems or my wash effects on two totems that are run through DMX. So it's you still getting your intelligent lights. Every package, even my low end package, my middle and my high package. So there is no more swapping a gobo light
Right.
or a gig bar light. I got rid of it. So I kind of started changing my model up a little bit, and some of that nickel and diamond went away.
Well, I got a question.
I took that away from them, that handicap away.
Yeah.
I got a question for all the DJ, all y'all. What's the most important thing at a wedding?
To me, the client and the guest.
bride and groom, yeah.
No. At the actual wedding, people go to a wedding for what?
Party.
To hear the vows.
Yeah.
The entertainment.
To hear the
And for the-
vows.
And for the entertainment.
Oh yeah.
And what's the entertainment?
It's supposed to
DJ.
So why
the DJ.
why are they
Most of the time it's
spending
us.
exactly? So why are you spending $10,000 on decorations and this and that and this, but then you want the DJ to come in there and do it for $300?
So I think a good podcast would be more breakdown of get more specific in how we do things, like, you know, start going over
Dynamics.
processes of, you know, hey, when I book a client, this is what I do day 1, day 2, week 2, week 3, up
Right.
until the point of your
Right.
wedding, and then start breaking down of this is my process of how you know, I get music. This is how we prep our folders, like, so they see the work. Because again, I think is the price, they associate the price with what we do, and they say we don't do nothing.
Right.
Here's that cliche that I hate, is we're button pushers. Regardless if we're button pushers, if you want to call us that, button pushers, there's still a lot of work that goes into us pushing that button, and you got to push that button at the right time.
I mean, and you're absolutely right. But guess what? Why do we got to explain every little thing that we do?
Right.
When who's explaining why we paying $10 for a carton of eggs? But they buying them though.
Right.
Well, now,
I guess I feel like
I agree. I agree with what Ron is saying. I want to chime in. See, we have to explain, you know, because in the breakdown, in your contract, they should know what they're getting. When they look on your website, say, I want this, 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 and this, they know what they're getting. Now, when I tell my clients we will meet up to at least 3 times, you know, we'll meet face to face or Zoom, however you want to do it. But I bet you the venue is not giving a breakdown. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
I
I
think
think
it's
it's just, and I understand what you're saying, Chris.
right.
For a formula type of thing would be cool, but I mean, I guess it's just me. I'm old school, so I'm not gonna give no breakdown.
Well, I think it's so. I think to
And
me,
see,
it's
that's
like
the-
some things are tangible. So you know, you can see that tangible item, like a cake is tangible. So they see. For us, you know, not a lot of people like us. We see the impact we have when we're looking at the crowd, right? We can see how we affect their motion, but they don't necessarily see that. So I think that's more or less why I think we have to kind of
Okay,
educate them, and I think this is why Mario
And
was
I'm
Chris, I
right, and I think
understand
that's
that.
what. Let me
I got what
let me
everybody's
back up.
saying. Hutch, correct me
I
if I'm
agree with
wrong.
Carla.
Anybody that on the platform here can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Now, what they probably looking at is the fact that on an average wedding, as a DJ, you only gonna really play about an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe a little longer than that.
right.
So they may be looking at that like, okay, I'm only paying you to play, hour and a half to 2 hours. But and again, they don't know everything that we do.
Right.
They don't know what we do before.
The
So
logistics.
when I'm going back to when Hutch said, I think it's 2 weeks ago, when I break out with the Vibo app and I say, hey, look, this is what you're getting, 9 times out of 10, that customer sold on the spot. Chris, I hate to say it. I know you say you're not paying that money for the app.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, they sold.
Right.
See, I'm gonna say this.
The thing they see is when I get a client, they say, "Oh, I get my own app." I say, "Yeah."
Right.
Then I say, and then I give them, I give them how to use the app, and then they say, "Well, I got all my music is on playlist." So I said, "Well, go in there." Oh yeah, I see it here. I can hit one button to import all my stuff, and boom. Now, what happens after that is the magic. I think I've let almost all the DJs know about Media Human. Only thing you do is just take that thing, drag it out, boom, and it create all the music as MP3, put it in the folder.
Right.
Done deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying,
I'm gonna say this, and that and this is one of those things that I've been sharing it like crazy. It's the way we market. It's not, and I think that's the biggest problem. It's like for me, like I said, I've only been in this business for 10 years, and for me, the way I came in and started to market myself is how I was just going along with the industry, not what DJs were doing, but what the industry was doing. So if we're not as DJs, if we're not trying to keep up with the industry, that's how we fall behind. And like the app, don't get me wrong, that's the new thing. But guess what? Is when you go to these like these crazy sites, they are advertising. It's more of an advertisement sites than they are anything else. Wedding Wire, what is it? Wedding Wire, the Knot, and then what is it? Wedding Pro. Their primary focus is to promote. People are paying them crazy dollars to promote when you don't have to. So to me, it's the marketing piece that a lot of DJs, and most of the DJs that are affected by this are the old school DJs. But the old school DJs are so used to the old West school of doing things where they're falling behind. So to me, it's like when I sit down with a client, I actually prove why I'm the most important piece to their event. I take time out to show them and educate. See, the biggest piece is this reason why I started this platform is to educate the client, because right now technology makes us all look bad. Everything makes it like, oh, and when I say it makes us look bad, is that technology makes it look like it's so simple and so easy to do it. But by the time I get done with a client, which like for example, I have a client, they have to, before they sign a contract, they have to sit down and listen to a full presentation of what I have to offer. That presentation is like maybe up to 1 hour, but guess what? In that presentation, I'm breaking them down from the time we start the ceremony, everything I do for the ceremony. I control your sound. I'm doing your lapel mics. I'm doing all this stuff for you for your thing. Because then now you got them to understand why you do more than push buttons.
Right.
But it goes back to marketing. So, like again, a lot of DJs, old school DJs, most of them, some of them have second jobs. A lot of them, I ain't gonna say just old time, but all DJs have another job. They have a full-time job or they're working another job, so they don't have that.
That's true.
And that's the way, Mario. I understand that. That's so true. Even in radio, I had another job.
Right.
Because my thought behind that process was, see, and for those that haven't been in radio, my thought process behind the whole thing is, okay, the Arbitron rating, you was good the last time. You heard that saying. We're going in a different direction this time.
Yeah.
So you always have to have something.
A backup. Yeah.
Is a backup.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Mario, when you first started doing your thing, you were doing your thing far as pricing.
Right.
Later on in the years, you said, okay, you're gonna raise your price. And that's
Right.
what you did. Now, in raising your prices, you think about all the gigs that you did at the other price. So now you have a lot of repeat business. Great marketing too.
Right.
So a lot of your business is probably repeat business because now Mario did my wedding, so I'm gonna go tell my uncle he get
Right.
married next week.
Right.
So
Right.
but for a stable, I don't think that a presentation is good. I have a presentation,
Right.
but a client is gonna be a client because what they're gonna be doing is they're gonna be shopping.
Right.
Bottom line, they're gonna shop
Right.
no matter what.
Right.
So what they'll do is they'll go on, do the Google review thing, and you may have one bad Google review. They're gonna hold it against you.
Yeah.
So it's what you have to know your worth, but you also, far as you can have I got a presentation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, sometimes I don't even use it. I don't have to because when I show them my prices. And they look at my prices, then they'll say, okay, I'm comfortable with that. But I need this over here. I need the uplights. So that's going to cost you more. And they ask me how much, and then they add on.
Right.
I need okay. They add on. So, because different people got different ways that they operate their business.
Right.
Joe Bunn, DJ Joe Bunn, he does a hell of a presentation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you also have to look at how many DJs DJ Joe Bunn have up on his belt. How many offices he have? He got one in Richmond. He got about 4 or 5 different offices.
Right.
So he steady have that income. It's just not him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's what it is that, and I'm glad you said that, is because like if you go back and you look at his marketing methods, and the commercials and the videos, like, and a lot of things is that when I first look at, like, for example, when I assess the market for DJs in the Fayetteville area, a lot of DJs are not doing any marketing whatsoever. They're not doing anything. I mean, just even the basic marketing, they're not doing it. Right now, we have over 2,000 DJs in the Fayetteville area, but out of that 2,000, there's only 15 of us that are properly marketing ourselves. So that says a lot about, like, it's like taking pictures of your setup, doing videos of how the crowd is responding to how you're DJing. All those are simple marketing tools. So now we're showing the customer, we're educating the customer that we're doing more than just pushing buttons. But like a lot of DJs are like caught up into, okay, like a lot of radio D. Like I had a customer say something to me today about, wow, your stuff. Like your stuff is better than this radio. She said some radio DJ. I don't even know who the radio DJ is, but she said something about radio DJ. So she was like, yeah, he wants $600, and all he's gonna do is just show up with just 2 speakers and a controller. And I was like, are you sure that's what he does? They didn't get in. He didn't tell her anything. Didn't go into anything. I said, well, you know what? This is how I operate. I said, I have to give you a full presentation of what I do because I want you to understand the value that's coming to your event. You have to. It's like we have to show them. It's just like a decorator, right? Like a decorator. A decorator is not going to get hired if they don't have pictures of what they've done before.
Right.
A venue is not going to get seen, or they're not going to be hired if they don't have a good tour on what makes their venue the best venue out of all the other ones. So everybody in the industry has a method of marketing, but on the DJ side, a lot of DJs don't take the time to properly market themselves. You got to prove to people that we are just as important as everybody else. Right. And I hate to say that, but that's where it is. It's just like we're all great DJs, but we have to take time out to show them why we're great DJs.
I'll admit that's one thing I do need to concentrate more on is Google. And Mario, you know the issues I've had with Google, and
that's
and lost a lot of stuff. So I do need to put more videos on Google to get that wedding money, because I'm tired of all these people around here. You know, like I went with him, he's 400. I'm like, Good luck.
I don't even want to get on Google.
Big important day, and you're gonna
Because I
hire.
know Chris has been now Chris. That's what I'm saying. This is the guy I was telling you that was y'all both were having problems with Google at the same time. I mean,
Right.
y'all and see that's the problem I have with third. Like the marketing piece is one thing, but when you have to rely on another company to do it for you, it becomes a problem.
Right.
Because if they decide that they're doing like what they're doing now with Google, where they're pretty much
Horrible.
they're pushing stuff out of the United States, and we have to
It's
rely
all in
on
India.
their methods. It's like now it's a whole different story. So it becomes a problem. So it's like me. It's like the thing is I take the time to study the industry, and the biggest part about the industry across the board is these big time tech companies like Wedding Pro, Wedding Wire, the Knot are trying to corner the market to where you're forced that you have to go through them. And I had to show people that we can break that cycle if we just learn a little bit about the marketing side of how we do things. Like an app, don't get me wrong, like that app. I mean, I know me and Chris, we were going back and forth. We were playing with different things, and we're just doing a test run. What was the one we were playing test run on, Chris?
So I use DJ Event Planner. So
Right.
what I was showing you that I had was DJ Event Planner.
So me and Chris,
there's another one that's out too, Mario. It's
Right.
called I was in the chat last week. It's just like DJ Event Planner, but what the guy do is he added SMS to his. You can send future SMS and drip campaigns and all that, which is just like DJ Event Planner. I think that's the when they go by, but he have the thing that Hutch and I use in the app that you can import your music from
Right.
Spotify, but you can't do it from Apple now, but you can do it from Spotify. So
well, that's one of the things. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it's a nice app. I always I'm up on technology, but it's pricey, but it's a great selling point. When
It's
I
a game
get
changer,
when I get somebody in front of me, and I say, well, your own app, you know that picture that you sent me. Well, here's your app right here, and they sold. They say no more. I have customers say no more. Where I sign at.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean, what may work for me, may not work for somebody else. Yes, it's pricey, but at the end of the year, wouldn't you claim that on your taxes? It's a
Right.
business. So
And see here, I'm a trick. I know some people seen this, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up because right we're talking about right now. We're talking about a lot of things that we have to we're putting behind the scenes is what we're paying for, and that's why I broke this down the way I did because let's see, is it gonna come up? Okay, so I broke this down just to make it easy for people to understand. Is every D like the question that was asked was why are all DJ prices different from everybody else? And the way I broke it down was this. Okay, for example, and these are just examples. When we go a regular event, most of the time we're only going to DJ for 4 hours. We all could agree to that, right?
Right.
About 4 hours. Most of the time, it depends on what our setup is. It's like I got an average of 2 hours for setup, 2 hours breakdown. Our total work day for a regular birthday party, I'm going to say birthday party, is about 8 hours. Okay. This right here is based on experience. Where your experience level is should play or have an impact on your price. Do we all agree on that?
Correct.
So if I feel that I am the DJ that deserves $50 an hour because of my experience, then guess what? Okay, so for 8 hours, that's $400 just for me. If that's just experience now. That's just one part of the formula. Now for a wedding, we all know when we go do weddings, we're going to be out there for at least 10 to 12 hours for a wedding. So that's $550. So again, based off my experience, I mean, this is pretty much what my prices is. So let's go to the next portion of it. The impact of equipment. Our equipment, everybody's equipment is going to be different. When we mostly go out to do our equipment, we have like most of the time our setups are going to be anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 for equipment. And we all agree to that.
Yeah.
So in order for us to maintain our equipment, we got to put a percentage back into that equipment. So and I when I break this down, if I'm only putting 2% of my costs back into my actual pay, what I'm charging the customer, that's not a lot of money. So I say 2%. So when the customer, and this is not that's not my presentation, but this is one of the things I try to educate the customer on. So okay, so now this is the equipment. So this is to maintain our equipment. Then, so with those two factors, that's what we come up with those packages. Now, the only factor that's not shown in this formula is the operational cost. How much does it cost to run your operation? And most of us, for most DJs, our operation cost can be $300 to $1,200 a month just to run our operation. So then, for most of us that have an operational cost, we have to put that figure in. But this is just based off of equipment and experience, which a lot of DJs don't have an operational cost because the only thing they're probably doing is they're doing record pool, they're doing the basic stuff. But if we're a full-time DJ or we're a DJ that does this on a normal basis, we do have an operational cost. So then you add in your operational cost. That's why I explain to people that the numbers are going to change based off of the equipment, based off of the experience, and based on the operational costs. And this is just a way of like getting people to understand our value. Like when you go back here and you like a lot of people don't have no idea how much equipment costs for a DJ. None. Like I said, they just you can just go buy some speakers. Like they looking at us, they're like Bluetooth speakers. Go get two, what Bluetooth speakers only cost $100 and this and so in a laptop.
Yeah,
And that's what they think of us. So we have to educate them and tell them, okay, no, this is what we're worth. We're bringing you $15,000 worth of equipment. Who else is doing that? Who else is bringing $15,000 worth of equipment to your wedding or to your event? The caterer's not doing it. The decorator's not doing it. We bring the most expensive stuff to any event than any other vendor. And a lot of people don't know that. So that's where we have to like really point out our value is to break it down. Like me, that's why this whole platform was designed, was really so we can set up and educate them on a lot of different things that's going on, because people don't understand that there is an operate, because a lot of people don't think DJs have operational costs. I actually had a conversation with a client one time and had no clue that we have to pay to get our music. A lot of people think we can just go in and download it from Spotify and YouTube. They don't know that we go to professional record pools to get our music. Which anyone can tell you, if you're a professional DJ, you're going to go get your music from a record pool. Right. And last time I checked, I think the cheapest record pool is going for $20 a month?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that people have to understand, is that we have to, just like now, you got all these like for example, I hate these, but you got these wedding expos. Okay. When you go to a wedding expo, how many DJs do you normally see at a wedding expo?
1 or 2.
You're only going to see 1 or 2 DJs, but how many decorators are you going to see? How many caterers are you going to see? So it's like, so when you go to a wedding expo and there's only 1 or 2 of us representing us, it make it like we're not important.
Right.
So we have to build up the education portion of it, the marketing portion of it, and we have to educate. We really have to take time out to let people know how important we are. Because like I tell people all the time, we bring the most expensive equipment to your event. Nobody else does that but us.
Yeah.
And when they think about it, they don't realize, those Bose speakers over here didn't cost them $1. They cost more than their cake. I mean, just one speaker costs more than the cake.
Yeah.
That's how we have to compare and show the value that we bring.
Yeah.
And I think that's the educational portion of it, is that DJs back in the day were not used to educating the customers.
Right.
All they know is if you was a radio DJ, you was a top of the line DJ because your name was famous and you was on radio and they knew your name from the radio. If you're just a regular old DJ, if you didn't have a platform, like if you wasn't DJing at a club or a spot to where people can see you on a normal basis, you didn't exist. So now the game has changed to where now whoever the DJ is that has the most marketing is the top line DJ.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or the cheapest.
I agree. I agree with you, Mario. You know, you have to look at it. I understand, and I do understand what you're saying. But a person like, kudos, because I'm giving kudos, like Gilbert Bays can still go out there and get $1,000 gig like it ain't nothing.
Right. Like
Yeah.
He's
ain't
not
nothing,
in radio.
Right.
And the thing about it is that, because, that's just he's Gilbert Bays.
Right.
He's Matt on
Right.
the Super
Right.
Mix. So,
He created his own market.
absolutely.
Right. His own platform. He's on his own platform.
Absolutely.
He has his own platform.
Absolutely. So, like, for instance, I was coming up through Myrtle Beach and heard a commercial, DJ Slide, back in the day with DJSlide.com. So these guys still exist. I'm saying I don't know what they're charging, but what I'm saying is they have branded themselves. It's basically what they did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Can I throw something in here?
Go ahead, Ron.
All right.
What's happening is, like with Gilbert Bays is known for killing parties. I'm sorry. That's what he is. The master of the super mix and all that. I didn't grow up down here, so I knew nothing about Gilbert Bays. You know how I know about Gilbert Bays? Because I actually went to one of his gigs, and he kills parties. Now, I got to know him after that, but originally, I'm like, yo, this cat is off the chain. He kills parties. When people go to a wedding or whatever, equipment, all that marketing and everything is great. And I agree with you to a certain point. But the bottom line is, I could bring a 12-year-old and set him up with that same equipment and say, okay, he gonna DJ y'all party. If he don't show out, all that equipment is obsolete.
Right. But
The light show, the everything is obsolete. And the problem people are having with this is, and this ain't got no reflection on you, Mario, or anybody like that. But now I have heard over the years of being here that, okay, yo, I paid all this money for this DJ, and he sent somebody to do my gig, and it was terrible.
Right.
So having a good name, big name, this and that, and this, it's a great thing, but you got to back it up with the performance.
And Ron, I agree with you on that. That's the reason why, it's all about marketing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to send nobody or give nobody a gig that I don't think that's not going to do a good job. That's not professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I keep it within our network.
Right.
Now I know, Chris, I know you're leaving, but I know I ain't driving to Goldsboro. So you was in Goldsboro, I'll be saying, you need to get touch with Chris. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to network. That's the thing. We just have to network.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of DJs. I think you said Mario, Canada. They DJ. It's a guy that called me all the time, talking about he trying to get me on this ship, and stuff. Man, I don't want to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? No, I really don't. But it's just all about network. He's a Maurice, you in our network.
Right.
So that's what they do. They network. So we have to network here. And then one of the most important thing is the appearance of your equipment.
Yes.
Right. That makes a difference.
Yes.
The
That does
presentation.
make a difference.
That presentation.
But it's still the bottom line of that, though. I don't care how good your equipment look. If you don't perform, you're still nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a two-part.
But
It's a
that's what we have
two-parter.
to-
Right.
that's the
Right.
part-
You
right.
know-
And we have to
Go hand in
educate
hand.
people on that.
Yeah.
That's the part that we have to educate on, because a lot of people don't understand that. Like, again, I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna say a certain name, but let's say you have this DJ company, right? This DJ company that has 6 or 7 different DJs.
See, everybody already know what you're talking about.
No, I mean, no, I'm just saying in general. No, well, the one I'm really talking about is not here in Fayetteville. It's in Raleigh, but there's a lot of DJ companies. There's a lot of DJ companies in Raleigh, and what they do. I mean, I'm trying not to say the name, but I know 4 DJ companies in Raleigh. Well, one's in well, 3 are in Raleigh, one's in.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about too.
They have all these DJs. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these DJs are well experienced DJs.
Yeah.
But then they got those 1 or 2 DJs that they just trained up in their 2-week course, because some of these DJ companies have a 2 to 4 week training course before they can get on up out there. And they're still charging the same rate. Course. Right. They're still changing the same rate. So it's kind of like one of those things to where, like, when we have us as individual DJ companies, we won't let somebody else go out and represent our brand or our name, because if they can't perform the way we do, if they can't turn it out the way we turn it out, that's going to hurt our name. It's going to hurt our brand.
Exactly.
And so that's the part to where that's why I won't expand. I don't mind helping somebody else out, but you're not going to do it under my name. You're going to do it under your own name. So if something goes wrong and you're not to perform, then it's going to go under you.
Right.
And that's the part that, again, it's that educational piece. It's about, like, you can't just show up. Like, we all know we're not going to send somebody that's going to show up with an iPad, or better yet, we're not going to send anybody that we never heard DJ before.
All right.
There you go.
We're not going to represent. We're not going to recommend, because like first thing is we have to know who they are first before we can do it. And see, that's where social media comes into place. Is I can go on social media, I can pull up stuff they've done before. And that's the part to where I stress to DJs, put that social media out there, because like right now, most of the young DJs are tearing up Instagram. Every time you turn around, every time they're DJing, they're throwing Instagram video of what they're doing on the dance floor, how people are responding to them.
Yeah,
and that's where we have to, as DJs, we have to still, we can't rely on these other companies to do it for us. We can't
okay, and you are absolutely right about that to an extent, because this newer generation is totally different from an older generation.
Right.
You can't go to a club. You can't go to an older club and just play music and expect to get a rise out of them. But the younger crowd, the song could run out. They play the next song. They just as happy. They have no concept of what a DJ's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then again, you got to look at the type of music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
that's the biggest part right there.
A lot of ladies, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to, they ain't trying to, unless they're younger, do the trap music thing. They want music that they can dance to.
Right.
Yeah. Most women, to get the women on the floor, most women will vibe to some R&B versus some of this TikTok music in these 2.5, 3 minute songs. They just it don't resonate with them, and the energy's not there. Like this one cat, his intro is about 2 minutes, and it's just a beat, and then by the time he gets to the hook, the song is damn near over with. And you'd be like, what did he say? Man, I don't know, man.
So can we agree or disagree, Hutch, that a lot of times, I've seen it in a lot of cases, remixes. A lot of people don't like remixes.
That's true.
Yeah. Because you just play the regular song. Sure.
Right. You got your 4, your 8 beat, and then you know what I'm saying. And I mean, the beat is nice, boom, boom, but they ain't even dancing. And then when it comes in and they hear the song, they were like, "Can you just play the regular version?"
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't like the remix. I noticed that.
My Sweet 16s are like that. Every time I do a Sweet 16 party, that's what it all boils down to. Is they don't want the mixing, the blending. They just want you to play the song like your regular iPod. I mean,
the guys don't do the dance, it's the girls.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's something to where. Go ahead,
Mario. Let me tell you another technique that I use. I partner with a company and that offers 136 destinations. So when I get a client, like I said, my prices are my prices. I'm not budging. So I'll get a client. I said, well, where are you trying to go for your honeymoon? Most of the time, it's within the realm of, and I'll just get them a sheet with 136 destinations on it. And I said, pick one. They were like, why, I said, because I'm gonna send you there. The only thing you're gonna have to do is pay to get there. I'm gonna take care of the room. And I can do that because I partner with this company, which, what I'm saying, I'm gonna share with you guys because I pay them every month a small portion, but it will enhance what you're trying to do. So what that money that you're trying to get, you can get that.
Right.
Easy.
And that's what I'm talking about. They pay for it and don't know that they're paying for it.
Right.
Perfect example.
Exactly.
And I like that. I like that.
Exactly. Because I had a couple. Actually, they wanted to go to Miami. Miami was on the list.
Right.
Okay, I got it. I got this. It's already built into my, it's built into the price.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
So they're like, oh man, it was a win-win for them.
Right.
Only thing they had to do was get down there.
That's it.
Right. So, I don't mind sharing it with you guys. So, after the meeting or whatever, I can send it out. You guys can sign up. It's virtually, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a
For
good
me
one there.
personally, though, I'll budge on anything else but wedding prices. And I think that's why I've had so many people cancel, because they'll confirm. And I'm like, okay, send me the deposit. I'll follow up a day, 2 later. Hey, what happened? You ghosted me. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got someone else. Oh, okay. And
Do you guys use a CRM?
Do I use CRM?
Yeah. Is anybody else using CRM?
Yeah, I use DJ Event Planner.
No.
Okay.
No.
The reason why I asked is I use one called Honeybook.
Yeah.
That's a popular one. Yeah, that's a popular one.
Honeybook is amazing. It is amazing. And because they can do the proposal, the invoice, and make their payment a secure payment, and sign the contract, digitally sign the contract, make their deposit, and it immediately go into a checking account that you have tied into your account.
Right.
And with that and Vibo, it streamlines what it is that we do, and as part of our marketing and whatnot. But it's really good CRM. I highly recommend that for anybody, any vendor that's doing what we do or doing whatever it is that they do. Cake vendors, photographers, videographers, you name it. I mean,
what does Honeybook take? What's their cut?
The package I have is like $49 a month.
Yeah,
and
it's running right now. They're running a special. I think they're doing 6 months for 99 cents.
Okay.
For me though, I don't have kids, so I'm damaged goods. I can't work for anyone. So all I do is I won't work a job. I don't have kids. So I live off of music. Like I lived in Jamaica. I live dance hall. I'm going to Cuba to work on an album. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's what Mario and I were talking about the other week. That's what I bring to the table. And when I'm talking to these clients and talking to clubs, and they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but we're going to take the guy for $200. I'm like,
right.
I'm done. I'm moving back to Europe. I don't need this.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's the part that marketing comes into place. And I think that's the big ticket nowadays is you have to justify that you're the better DJ, and you're not that you're competing with the other DJs, but you have to kind of like justify why you are the right DJ for their event. And that's where you have, like, I know, like you and Chris are both, I mean, y'all been beating up on Google for quite some time to get y'all stuff straightened out, but that's where that Google reviews come into place. That can hurt, that can help you or break you one way or the other. That's where your YouTube channel, having a YouTube channel, an Instagram page. I mean, now I even got to the point where I'm putting stuff on TikTok. I put 2 videos of me doing stuff with DJing, and both videos have already got over 500 something looks just on TikTok.
Right.
It's like that is just like it's. And don't get me wrong, I never thought I would mess with TikTok, but it's just that's that easier way of boosting your market.
Right.
It's trending right now.
It's extra work, it's extra time, and that goes to where I say operational costs. It's because now we have to spend time on all these different platforms just to show people that we are the better DJ. Yeah. And it's sad. Now, if we had a brand, like I said, Giro Bays can go in anywhere, anytime. I mean, because he rocked the skating ring back when I first got stationed here. So he was well known for the skating ring. And that's the only reason I knew about him at first. And then I've worked with him quite a few times when we do the charity thing for Cumberland County Schools, where he was the MC. So it's just like his brand, and then he works TV now. He to radio, TV. So his brand is his name. So he doesn't have to do a lot of marketing because he's been working on his brand forever. You know, all he has to do is show up, and he, bam, you know, automatically. So that's why I say it's just a matter of now we have to establish ourselves.
Highly respected. Yeah, highly respected.
And we have to get to that point because, like, if a person doesn't know who you are, then you have to tell them who you are. And that's the time we got to take that time to say, you don't know who I am? Let me break it down because, like, my first slide in my presentation is a list of all the things that I have done as a DJ, from being DJing in Korea, from being a video DJ. It breaks down, and then I even throw in there. I have a degree in event planning. I have a degree in IT, and they're like, "Why is it? Wow, IT? What's that?" Oh, I'm gonna tell you because like what I do is I do a lot of IT stuff with what I do when I DJ. They're like, "Dang, really?" So they don't understand that there's a lot more complications to what we do. We just don't show up, like, especially when I tell them that I have a degree in IT and an degree in event planning, because then they're like, "Well, dang, I didn't know DJs were get degree." I'm like, why wouldn't we? That's
the only thing we don't have a degree in is DJing because nobody has come up with a curriculum.
Right. Nobody's doing it, right. So that's where
I'll agree with that. I got a master's degree in DJing. I got 40 years in the game.
There you go.
I don't need nobody to prove me in the wrong anything.
But that's Mario. Like the first thing that's on my slide, the first bullet, it says I've been DJing for 30 plus years. I've been doing a video DJing for 10 plus years. And so a lot of stuff that it's like you make them curious to like, wow, you know, how you gonna connect these dots? So like I thought all y'all do was just show up and play music. You got degrees and you got these backgrounds, you're doing photography, videography. I mean, so you're showing them the importance of what you're bringing to the event. And that's where you get them curious to where like, dang, well, then so when they go shopping for another DJ, well, do you have a degree? Degree? Nah, I just graduated from high school. You know, it's like they're shopping. You're kind of showing them a shop a different way because they're not just shopping for the price. They're now shopping for quality. And that's how we have to brand ourselves in a sense to say we are the better DJ. I've been DJing for 30 plus years. How long that dude been DJing? For only 2 years? You're going to take a DJ who's going to be doing 2 years versus 30? That's how you beat them in the long term is you show them, and it's not, we're not competing with them, but we're showing them this is why we're important. This is why we're the right DJ. Right. And that's the way we have to, and if that's the way I look at it, we have to step up and say, damn it, there ain't nobody else better for your wedding but me. And this is why. And if I can't do it, guess what? I'm going to turn around. I'm going to send you over to this DJ because after I hear what you have to say, and this ain't good work, then guess what? I got 10 other DJs that are, if they're not just the same as me, they're even better than me. And that your credibility now for that next DJ when you pass it on is even higher. Right. And that's how we beat some of these other DJs that are charging $200 or $300.
And it goes back to people will do business who they know, like, and trust.
Right.
It's simple, you know what I'm saying? And then we talked about Brandon. There was a time when I was just getting ready to do it with the Maurice Star because it caused a lot of confusion. Okay. And what I mean by a lot of confusion, well, how I got the name was a guy named Greg Starr was at the radio station and he was leaving. So we were in the arbitrage range. You know, station get ratings on base on certain things. People say, well, you know, who do you listen to? You know, it could have been Johnny Starr, but the name Starr, you know, they get that recognition at that station. So when I came aboard, you know, oh, it's Maurice. So, you're going to be Maurice Starr. But didn't know in the long run, it would cause confusion because there's a Maurice Starr that started a New Edition, New Kids on the Block.
Yep.
And so then what happened was one day he called me And he told me who he was. And actually, I was at the car dealership with a friend of mine, with a guy I worked with. And I was like, man, this guy, man, this fool talking about he Maurice Starr, man. He said, what number it was? It was a Florida number. He said, well, he from Florida. So as I got to talking to him, it was him. He was like, no, I'm not trying to cause no confusion. And he says that you showed up real heavy in the Google search. And I outperformed him on the Google search. So he said, if anybody looking for me, let me give you my personal numbers. So that's what he did. But, you know, I started receiving some checks that wasn't mine. From him. So I had to forward those texts to him. So it's all about branding yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when they come, it just come like, I'm Maurice Starr Entertainment. He's Maurice Starr Entertainment. But I don't know where his LLC is, but mine is out of Las Vegas. His could be out of Delaware.
Right.
So, but, you know, him and I became, you know, close. Because I can pick up the phone and call him, hey, what's up? You know, and we just talk. But, you know, I would think that, you know, when you DJing, try to choose a name that doesn't conflict with somebody else that's already out there. Because I do outperform him in the Google search. So when somebody search Maurice Starr, boom, I come up. And I get phone calls every day. Hey, I got this demo I want you to check out. So, no, I'm not the wrong person. Let me give you his number. I'm not that person. Let me give you his number. So, you know, I tell a lot of DJs that want to come up professionally, choose a name that, you know, that's not out there.
Right. Yeah, and that's part of the branding piece.
Be authentic.
That's part of the branding piece.
Right.
When I teach, when we teach that class about social it's not social media marketing. The first thing we do is we tell you before you make that your name, Google it one time. If nothing comes up under that name, you're good. That means you have you ain't got nothing to compete with when it comes to your name. But if you put like a lot of people put like what's that popular name around here? Sand Hill. That's a popular name. Like everybody's Sand Hill or Cape Fear. I mean, you can't use those names because there's like you put in Cape Fear, you have at least 10,000 different places that have their name.
Barbecue.
Yeah. So it's like so that's one of the things we teach people on social media marketing is your name says a lot. That's part of how you're going to optimize how people are going to find you. It's just like with mine, okay, I have a long name, but guess what? I made it short, DC2DW. So anyone can remember that. Very easy, very simple. And you simplify it, but at the same time, you try to be an individual. And you try to make it.
But the one thing that it was so funny, because he says, man, he said, I'm not tripping on that name. He said, because my name is not Maurice Starr. His real name is Larry Johnson, either Lawrence Johnson. That's his real name. So his name is not Maurice Starr. So he said, that's not even my name. So that's his stage name. I said, oh, okay.
Okay. But yeah, we are, wow, I can't believe we're already coming up on 2 hours.
Wow.
Time be going by when we're having fun. But that's why I said this is really good. That's why I said this whole platform is designed for us to show people who we are, to let people see what goes on behind the scenes. And so I know we talked a little bit about the venue piece, we talked about the money piece, but like I said, what Chris was saying is now we need to get into what goes on behind the scenes of what we have to do in order to be successful at the events. We have to tell people we are the most important part to your event. And believe it or not,
our job starts when we get our deposit.
Huh?
Our job starts when we get our deposit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the time that we say hello.
Right. I was gonna say it start before that. Start when we send out that quote.
Yeah. Because you're trying to get to another
phone call and
So Chris, that's real quick question. Chris, are you using? You say you're using DJ Event Planner. Are you using Eric Massengale's automation?
No, I did it myself. Like I looked at it. Listen, he's a genius at what he does, and hats off to him because he knows a lot about it. But I got a background in computers, and I just couldn't see myself paying what he was asking right to do it. So I just took the time to sit down and figure it out. And once I figured it out, it's not that complicated. But I mean, kudos to him because his stuff is nice. Like it's nice. It's nice.
And see me, I did like I'm with Chris right there. Is I got too much. I have a background in technology to where I refuse to pay somebody on the tech side because, and it's more so the reason why I say that is because I can do almost everything that a lot of these programs are doing, and I've actually come up with my own methods. So it's like that's why I can't see myself paying somebody on something I can do myself. Like when I say that, I'm talking about on the tech side of it.
Right.
I think that Mario a good marketing tool or piece. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is now I think that we as DJs should be interactive, like video. You know, like I'm
Right.
like with my notary business. I got a video that said, "Hi, you know, I'm already starting notary. Hey, you know, this is what I look like. Hey, this is what I'm driving. So I'll see you in a minute." Now that one video just stays like that to every client. So when I go meet a client, they already know what I look like. They know what I'm gonna be driving.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's you know, and I want to do something like that for you know the DJ business. You know, hi, you know what I'm saying. 2 weeks ago, blase. You know, I sent you a contract. You know, one if you're still interested. Two, you know, and be interactive with them on the video. I think people respond more to video than just to a text message or email.
See on my when you book,
Right.
when I send you to that when I send you to your portal, it has a video embedded and it plays automatically when they go on, and it's me talking to them and you know welcome them to their portal and then explaining to them how to navigate their portal, and I give them you know a video showing step for step of how to navigate the portal instead of just putting it on paper and letting them read it. So that's how I put it, and that's on every portal that every client gets.
I like that. That's
see, with
cool.
me,
we're gonna be talking, Chris.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And see, with me, what I do is, like I said, when COVID happened, when everything went virtual, like to this day, I still maintain where I do a Zoom meeting with my client, so they can see me, I can see them, and I'm able to give them the full presentation. We don't have to sit down, and they don't have to travel. I can give them a full Zoom presentation, right there on the spot, and that makes a big difference because when I start to show them everything. Like I would say, out of all the times I give a customer a briefing, only 2 people out of in the last 10 years have not signed a contract. Everybody else has signed. So I would say, my percentage wise, I would say I'm like at 98%. I would say 99.2%. Where as long as I'm able to give a presentation, I'm able to sign and keep them. And the only time something comes up that where they might cancel is because of either somebody got caught cheating or there was a hurricane. So one of the other ones, which are both bad situations. And I did want to. Someone said something in the chat, and I didn't put it up, but I do want to let people know that look, we are here to help. When I made the comment about experience, that's why we're here. We're here to help you. And I know a few of you out there. A lot of people that have been following me is that you're looking because y'all want to get into this. Look, if you don't have the experience, don't worry. We're going to take care of that. We're going to help you with it. That's just one of those things to where what I was saying when I made that comment, I think someone kind of like took it the wrong way. When I made that comment is I made the comment because we want to make sure that when you represent our network, that you are a good DJ. If you prove, like I said, if you sit down with one of us and you talk to one of us and we see your skill set, you don't really have to. We're going to take time to see what you're about, and we're going to mentor you. If you need that mentorship, we're going to mentor you. Most of us, I would say all of us, if you're all about doing the right thing, we're going to do what we can to help you.
Exactly.
I personally have 2 DJs I train, and one's in Charlotte right now, killing the clubs, and the other one's down in the country killing it.
Right. Yeah.
Good.
And when I do young parties, that's who I call.
Why?
And I think that's one of the biggest things. Well, he said Zoom is a good way to communicate.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's why I said that it's like the whole thing about this networking, this educational platform is that we want to take DJs and make them better DJs. We want to put them in a network to where it betters our industry. That's what we're here for. I mean, it's not that we're not going to. No, I'm not saying we're going to turn down if all you know how to do is an iPad. We're going to show you how to do more than just an iPad. So when I made that comment earlier, please don't take it the wrong way. We're here to train and help everybody. My whole thing on this platform is to educate, to assist, to help, and to get people to understand the importance of the DJ. When you hire a DJ, this is what you need to look for. This is why we're important. This is what we're bringing to the game. Those are just the whole thing. This whole platform is to take. And see, here we have a large, like I said, we have different levels of experience as we speak right now. I mean, you have 3 radio DJs on here. You have DJs that have been doing this for over 40 years.
Yep.
Some of us have only been
77.
doing it for probably 20, like 15, about 10, like 10 years or less,
Mhm.
but we're all here together working to make sure people understand the importance.
Right.
And I think that's what it is. And we have different DJs that do different things. We offer different stuff.
Right.
So that's why this network is so important, to where if we don't have it, then guess what? We're going to make sure you get a good quality. That's my biggest thing. And a lot of people who know me, if you call me and I'm booked, guess what? I'm going to say, look, here's my network, and this is what they're about.
Right.
And just in case anybody don't understand, I've been in the game 40 years, and I still learn every day.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially
Like right now, I'm learning right now.
Yes.
We got a question. That just came in. Let me see here. I'm trying to see if I can show it. There we go. How important is it to you to honor your clients' wishes when it comes to the ambiance and music?
Very.
That's extremely important.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the whole purpose it's there for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the most important. That's that first question that we ask. Like in most cases, what's your
What's
vision?
your vision? Exactly.
What's your vision? I mean, and
And see, that's the
that
difference.
vision, that's like the first. That's the most important question in my presentation is
Exactly.
what's your vision? We got another. We got see. Mine says something to see here. They gotta want to do it. So, what just happened? Go back to it. They gotta want to do it. Some of these guys think they know everything. I've been in the game for 30 years and I'm still learning. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same here. Yeah.
That's the thing about this DJ. And then the thing is, if you've been in the game for over 30 years, you already know we went from records to CDs, from CDs to, I mean, don't be wrong.
Yes, sir.
Some of the
Cassette.
DJs,
You forgot my cassette.
Yeah.
No,
Start with
let's,
cassette.
let's
about
go
to go back
back to the
cassette.
8-track
right, the 8-track, cassette, the real. I mean,
with the book of matches to put in there when it started skipping.
I actually remember Real to Real.
Yeah, that was after the 8-track though.
right.
Exactly.
So that's one of those things that I tell people, that it's like the whole thing is we all bring a lot of experience to this platform. We all bring a lot of knowledge and wisdom. We're here to educate. And the thing is, I would tell people all the time, the moment that you get comfortable, you're doing something wrong. You got to be uncomfortable in this business. You got to stay
Right.
uncomfortable. That's the only way you're gonna learn. Is you got to be uncomfortable. Like they got some new thing, like I said, the cold spark machine. Touch. We already know. We went down that trail, and
Yeah.
I don't even want to touch it in the cold spark machine after what happened. So it's just
Well,
I mean,
it was a lesson learned with you get what you pay for.
right.
And how many times have I told that to you? You get what you pay for.
Oh yeah, all the
Listen,
time.
I say this though. They all have their nuances because I paid. Mario saw what I paid for mine, and mine did the same thing as his, but I was able to fix mine. But I was able to fix mine, and it's still going up and running.
That's
But-
right there. That's the reason why I won't do it. He paid all that money for that cold spark, and it did the same
Yeah.
thing. I said, okay, so 400, 10,000, it's all the same. It's like a
Right.
work.
Right. It was crazy. I was completely taken back because I've used it I don't know how many times, and that one time it just messed up and I was like, are you kidding me? And I mean you feel
What was
so
it, the heat
bad.
balance?
No, it was so what I believe is it was raining cats and dogs out there, and I believe the moisture got in it and it made the granulates
Stick.
clump, and it just got clogged. And I mean, both of them clogged. So that's why I said I think it was a freak. Just everything happened right because both of them clogged. I got one unclogged quickly. The other one, man, it took me a minute. I tell you, but again, I was troubleshooting it, so I think I was making it worse than trying to troubleshoot it. But I think it took me almost a month to unclog that thing.
Oof.
And
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I'm talking to the manufacturer. They're like, "Oh, well, just buy a new one." I'm like, did you
Really?
what?" Listen, I needed Jesus that day.
Yeah.
That's
Now that's definitely one thing that you definitely would need to have some insurance,
Oh yeah.
so that
Oh, yeah.
when they go down on you, insurance claim,
All right.
because, and I'm gonna make this brief, be very specific about an insurance claim.
Right.
If it's something that you can buy for $200-300, buy it out of pocket. But if it's something
right.
that's going to cost you $2,000 or $3,000, do an insurance claim on it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it's just
Right. I
some
love-
things, man, we just can't. It just happens.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the good thing about our experiences that all of us have, is our ability to troubleshoot and think on the fly, think on
Right.
your feet.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and
Yeah.
that's important, because sometimes things happen that are beyond your control,
Right.
but the client's
Right.
going to hold you responsible for it. And been there, done that.
Right. Right.
But
So Mario, is that in your presentation about insurance? Do you explain to the client that you have insurance, or
Yes.
if you do, I mean, I'm just saying.
And because the reason why I explained that portion of it as well is because that makes the difference between, again, some venues will not allow DJs to DJ in there without insurance.
Right.
at least
It's
$1
like
million
some of them, you start doing
liability.
these, right. It's like we start doing these big time venues. These venues that cost $5,000 or more. You got to have insurance. They won't let you
Right.
come in and DJ without insurance.
Right.
Now, can the customer go out and purchase the insurance? They'll cover the DJ. Yes, they can. But when they hear that I have insurance, that's a big relief, because
Right.
now they don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Okay, but what are you gonna do that causes them any issues?
Well, I
As a
don't think that let me chime in on that, Mario. I think the biggest thing with me, what if a client trip over one of your wires? So, the tape come loose,
Right.
and they get hurt. Then that insurance policy is gonna cover that.
Right.
Or if
Because see, what happens is,
somebody's drunk and just spills something to your mixer board and it's fried, your insurance company will replace it.
right.
They
So like
only
we
have
take
to be
like there's a
drunk.
video.
All they got to do
Right.
is hold something over it that's got some liquid dripping down, a drop get into your equipment,
Right.
party's over.
Right.
Right. Well, it then there's a situation. I'm not sure if y'all saw the video where someone using the cold spark machines and they caught the whole venue on fire.
Well, that
the whole
wasn't
venue
Cold
started-
Sparks. That was the knockoffs that were not Cold Sparks.
Right. That was a knockoff, but
Right.
the thing
Right.
is,
That
the
was a
cold sparks was the
pyrotech.
hit for it. Right. It was a
Right.
pyrotech.
Right.
Technically,
Right.
it was the wrong. It was rated for the wrong thing, and
Correct.
they used it for the wrong type of scenario. So if they
Outdoor,
were
and they
paying
use the
attention to-
indoors.
Right.
the cold
I
sparks,
bring
if
a.
these-
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna
I
say
said,
I
if
bring a. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say with my Cold Sparks, I bring a thermal gun so they can look. I bring all the compliance paperwork, the MSDS, and the thermal gun with mine. So look, there is no way to look. I'm legit. Here it is. Here's all my paperwork. You want to test it out yourself? Here's a thermal gun. You can see how hot everything, all that good stuff.
And that's the thing is, and the two things that are causing the most problems in the industry are the cold spark machines and the cloud machines. Because a lot of venues don't want them to be used because of all the bad things that they've seen, and then the insurance goes up. Believe it or not, if you actually go tell your insurance company that you have these items, your insurance is going to go up. But like
I'm gonna drop you.
I've seen that because like some of these cheap speakers catch on fire and they burn a hole. Yeah, I mean they actually burn a hole in the carpet, the floor, and so forth. So it's like there's a lot of things. Does it happen? No, it's very rare. But it's just that when the customer hears you have insurance or the venue, because like for example, the Carolina barn, you are required to have insurance. So he said that he knew exactly what speakers I was talking about. They'll catch on fire. Because I've heard that, I've seen it happen too many times. So I mean, it's and so that's what I say. There's a lot of things to where when you step up your game, you got to pay for it. As DJs, we got to pay for anything to be. We got to pay for more equipment. We got to pay for operational costs. We got to pay
It's an investment.
insurance.
It's an
It's
investment.
an investment.
Yeah.
So it's like you're growing with the industries. But if you're not trying to grow with the industry, then that's a whole different story. And I think that's the problem is a lot of DJs, they don't I just want to play the music and have a good time and turn the party out. And
Right.
that's how it was back in the days when I was younger. When I just did it as a side thing, but now it's my primary. This is it for me. So it's like now it's an actual business. So you have to grow it up. And so the reason why I'm saying that is there's a lot of DJs out here, a lot of people out here that are retirees. They want to get into business. I know, Chris, you know quite a few of them too.
Right.
Up in Goldsboro area, they're trying to get into this business, and we have to teach them what right looks like.
Yep.
And so that's why most of the time they're coming to us is because we have that experience. If you're not trying to grow and keep up with technology, you will be left behind. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Man, that comment right there sparked a lot of controversy. That comment, not his directly, but I'm just saying with two DJs in the industry.
Yeah.
What do they say now? Technology, it used to be like every 10 years, and now it's every 2 years. It's doubling, and
Right.
Oh wow!
I'm curious what her horrible experience was.
Me too, because she said if she had offered all the bells and whistles and make sure you're able to multitask and work it all. I had a horrible experience at my reception because my DJ, and to this day I can't get it back.
My point. Remember, I said that earlier.
Well,
Yeah.
Let me say this. I was that DJ, and that's a whole different story. I was that DJ, and like I said, sometimes things happen that are beyond your control.
Oh, okay.
So, and to this day, there was nothing I could have done about that.
Okay. Well, we'll
that's
definitely have to.
Yeah. And see, that's another thing when I was saying about how the DJs can go in their history folder and go back and tell what time you started playing, what turntable, what deck you played, how long you played the song, everything. So this particular client right here, it was an accusation made about different things. But when I pulled up that history folder, boom, all that went out the window.
Thank God.
Because I started playing 30 minutes after I got there. And I played until the music stopped. So regardless of what someone may say, I have the digital proof.
Gotcha.
You can't beat that. You can't argue with that.
Well, I'm gonna say this. We're gonna have to cover that. We're gonna cover that the next one next Wednesday. Because I gotta get off. We're way past our time. And my next event had already started. I'm 30 minutes late.
I couldn't 9 o'clock, so I'm with you.
Yeah, I said mine started at 8. But this was, like I said, we're definitely gonna get back into this. Like I said, this is something that in that situation, I think I know which one this is. And now that you're talking about it, I think I know exactly which one this is. But we're definitely gonna have to cover down, and we're gonna talk about it next show, because our next show, just for people to know, is we're doing this every Wednesday at 6. That I actually blocked out that time to where I know DJs, y'all might be busy. I mean, I offer this to everybody. If you're a DJ and you want to come on the show, just let me know. I don't mind inviting you, because I like to invite every level of DJ experience, because then we can see it. We can actually see the industry and how it's changing. Pretty much, we can see where the industry started, like in most cases where it started at, and then how it's growing and how we're changing things. So, and Mr. Don, and I'll say this, Mr. Rivers, Mr. Rivers, he's definitely. I know him. We're both in the same unit in the military. He's really trying to get into the game, so he tuned in tonight. I'm glad he did. I know there's another.
Was that Doc Rivers?
No, not. You talking about from the,
no, I know of Rivers.
Oh, no, he's actually he's Whoa, where'd it go? It disappeared on me. Okay, there it is. Yeah, Mr. Donald Rivers, he pretty much, he's actually he's in the game, and
All right.
he's just trying to learn and gain more from it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
we've been missing each other. We've been trying to catch up with each other because we're supposed to be sitting down and talk about things, and he's supposed to be helping me take off some of these crazy events, all these events I'm doing. So he's going to help me out with that.
Cool.
He's right, yeah. So. And then, like
Yeah.
here, there's a lot of comments. It's a lot of comments. I'm gonna say this: we got a lot of comments from this show.
Right.
So when y'all get a chance, go back and look at it. And again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this every Wednesday night at 6:00. I welcome all DJs. If you want to jump on, I think I can only do up to 10 people. So after 10, I can't do no more. Respect to all, definitely.
Appreciate you.
And I mean, this is how we're going to grow our network. We're going to take care of each other. Like, this is how we take care of each other is we network our names. We talk about things. We put out information, and then we share what we're capable of doing. And like I said, we're going to rescue our DJ from South Carolina because they beating him down bad down there.
There's some more stuff to it, but like I said, trying to start teen nights out here because it's so rough in Dillon and a lot of these surrounding towns, Florence, and it was called the corridor of shame when Obama came through here, and when I get told, and it goes back to that thing about doing gigs for really not making money, I will do teen nights and talent battles out here all day long, and I don't care if I lose money on it because I'm making my money on the weddings and the corporate stuff. And when I get told from every venue, well, that ain't gonna work, it's like, it's disheartening that they don't want to help the kids out here. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of layers that I've quickly found in the corruption. So it's wild out here. I love it and hate it at the same time, but just pushing through and committed to not go up north or tour or travel this year and just one solid year here and see what happens. So,
all right.
What part of South Carolina are you located?
I'm right by Florence right now. I've been out here about a year, but I'm always on the road, so, and I still am, freelance everywhere, but it's an interesting area, like I said. So when I come up to NC, I'm like, oh, COVID's still a thing up here? You guys are still wearing masks? Oh, okay. And like illegal casinos out here, smoking in bars. It's wild. I think it's one of the most interesting states in the country and one of the most underrated. So there's a lot of great stuff here, but it's frustrating in a lot of ways as well. So I'm trying to do what I can and link up with some good people. And there are a lot of good people that are motivated to do stuff. So hopefully this year, we'll see some of that manifest.
All
right. Well, look, we're going to take a look. We're going to try to do the best we can to get you taken care of, because that's what we're trying to do, is build a platform where we get what we're worth. I mean, that's what this is all about, is educating the customers, educating people in general. That means they're not a customer.
Right.
That we do. Go ahead. To say something?
No, I think you just got a little echo.
Okay.
Well, I got a quick question. Well, I got some text. I got an older Mac. Can it be upgraded so I can run stems?
What's an older Mac? What year?
What year?
12.
Who?
12 or 010. I'm not sure. I think it's 010.
I have a 010, and I don't know if you can see that one. I had to upgrade it. I upgraded my 2010. I got a 2010 and a 2012 Mac Pro, and that processor won't do it. My 2010 and 12 both have 6 terabytes of hard drive. The hard drive and RAM is not the issue. It's going to be the processor. It won't do it.
Right.
That new M2 processor is phenomenal. I'm really impressed with it.
Right.
That's what I'm on.
What you're telling me is I'm going to have to get a new computer.
That, or you're going to have to get a controller with stems on the controller. Yeah, unfortunately.
Best
Or
buy.
you can use virtual DJ.
Yeah, or virtual DJ. Yeah.
I'm not doing all that. I'll buy another computer.
Hold up. Before you throw the bath out with the water, do the stem on virtual DJ, save it to your hard drive, and drop it in Serato. Done deal.
You said 13 is good. I know 12 and 10 wouldn't do it. I tried on both of mine.
Well, I got your number, Hutch. we gonna have to talk because
I got you, man.
because I need that STEM program bad.
I got
Hey,
you.
listen. I just got my computer. What I get this, Mario?
On Saturday. You got it on Saturday.
I got it. I got
Oh,
off the
that's
plane.
the one you talking about.
Yeah, listen. I got off the
Yeah.
plane Saturday. I got home
Woo.
and I've been working. Listen, game changer. STEM's game changer.
He has an I9.
I know.
Listen, game
Oh,
changer.
damn.
I9.
Game changer.
Damn.
I told him just let me know when he gets his own satellite.
Game changer.
With
I'm
the
loving
I9,
it.
you might as well have your own satellite.
Hey, I got to get ready to get off of here myself, man.
Okay.
I wanted to holler at y'all after the recording right quick so we can
Okay.
pass some numbers
Right,
and
so
stuff,
look,
man.
everybody, look. So real quick, everybody, everybody that's watching, thank y'all for tuning in. Again, every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, come back and see us. All right, y'all
Much
say
love.
peace.
Much love.
Appreciate it.